Have you all seen this headline from Bounding into Comics? The Walt Disney Company CEO Bob Iger wants to quiet the noise regarding culture war issues because they are not healthy for Disney's business. I think we all know that. I mean, we've all basically been saying that for years. I mean, this kind of stuff doesn't help with the company, but let's scroll down in this article to see what he has to say. So Needham financial analyst Laura Martin recently attended a 120-person investor event at Walt Disney World and reported on September 20th that during this event, Bob Iger explicitly stated he wanted to quiet the noise on culture war issues. Notice how it said the phrasing here, quiet the noise on it, not get rid of it entirely, not completely change course or reverse course. It's just quiet it down. Just like, hey, just don't be so overt with your messaging or whatever. Try to be a little bit more subtle with it because it's really off-putting to the vast majority of people out there, pretty much their entire paying audience at least. In Martin's report, which she provided to Bounding into Comics, she explained that Iger believes content should be entertaining, not issues focused. Literally everyone could tell you that. The only people who don't think that issues shouldn't be the focus are probably the brainlets that they actually hire to write these sort of things. And because the whole problem is when I say something is gone woke, I don't mean that it has like a gay character in it or something like that, because I've liked lots of movies and shows with gay characters. I mean, that really doesn't bother me. What I don't like is when that's the entire character of them, because when you get these people who have an agenda to push where they're like, I want a gay representation in there, they do, or at least what I've seen them do, is they remove all subtlety, because when you're trying to push an agenda, you don't want to leave any ambiguity in there. You want people to actually get the message that they're trying to get across. And that means, removing all subtlety. And a non-subtle gay character is just a stereotype, and they're annoying and they're just not interesting. But I mean, if you actually make it too subtle, which takes talented writers to do that, the audience might not get the message that they're trying to push. So then they don't do that. And that's the problem with this, is because Bob Iger is saying we need to be a little bit more quiet on this sort of thing, but I don't think they have enough talented people there to actually do this. Not to mention, I don't think they have people there who want to do this. I mean, we got this from back from last year. A Disney executive producer admits to gay agenda, adding queerness wherever she could. Where is it? Oh yeah, in my little pocket of proud family Disney TVA, the showrunners were super welcoming to my not at all secret gay agenda, she said. Maybe it was that way in the past, but I guess something must have happened. And then like all the momentum that I felt, that sense of, I don't have to be afraid to have these characters kiss in the background. I was just wherever I could add in queerness, no one would stop me and no one was trying to stop me. So, I mean, that's just not this person. It's just basically saying like, they're doing this and everyone around her is like, yeah, go for it. I don't care. I mean, and that's an issue with Disney. If Bob Iger is sincere in that he wants to reverse course or tone this down, there's a lot of other people there who are trying to push these agendas. And that means you need to tone either a lot of them down, which I think the only way to do that is to have a complete culling of the company, or at least as a lot of the executive levels go. And we have seen some moves in that. I mean, this is from last June, firing their chief diversity officer, but I don't know if that's why they fired this person. I mean, maybe it could be they're trying to change course and this is a natural first step, that sort of thing. But I don't think that's what the case is with this. I mean, I think that she just happened to be fired and the headlines were just out for that reason. But I don't know, maybe they are sincere about this. But I mean, Disney is a big company and they've really stepped in it a lot, particularly with the whole Florida thing. It even talks about that a little bit. Here's Bob Iger's statements on the whole parental rights and education bill that went into effect in Florida. So far, this is what, according to Bob Iger, so far what we've said publicly is that we are concerned that he being Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, decided to retaliate against the company for a position the company took on pending legislation in that state. Wrong. That's not what happened. It wasn't pending legislation in the state. I mean, Bob Iger kind of goes on to saying like, this is our First Amendment right and blah, 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 all that stuff. But no, that's not what they said. Disney says striking down Don't Say Gay law is company's goal after DeSantis signs bill. So it wasn't pending legislation. It was already a bill that was signed and into law. Going down, Disney said in a statement that its goal as a company is for the law to be repealed by the legislator or struck down in the courts. The company is committed to supporting organizations working to achieve that. So in other words, Yeah, we know the voters of the state elected people to represent them, and this is what they did to the support of the public of that state. But us being a California company who doesn't like what the other state is doing, we're going to try to throw our weight around there and finance other groups that are trying to actually subvert the will of the people by getting this struck down in courts. I mean, that's not really a helpful thing. And the whole, oh, this is our First Amendment right. It's like, yeah, you can say whatever you want, but I mean, at the same time, it's like, that really wasn't their interest when they were doing that. I mean, in their lawsuits against Florida, I mean, usually any lawyer will tell you when you're filing your lawsuit, the primary arguments that you have, the strongest cases you have is at the top of the list. And then as you go down the arguments or whatever, they're the weaker ones. And pretty much the last one that they had was like, oh, and this is our First Amendment one, because that's something that most public can actually understand. That is a First Amendment argument, because general public doesn't understand subtleties of the lawsuits and arguments that they had for why they should be able to keep autonomy over a region of Florida. So the First Amendment one was literally just like something that they threw in there just so they can say for PR. But in all honesty, it didn't work, and they have since like basically pulled out of their lawsuits because it really didn't help them. I mean, they've lost a ton of money by actually jumping feet first or jumping head first into the culture war with this issue right here. But I mean, like I said, I mean, if Bob Iger is sincere about this, I mean, Disney is a big ship, so it'll take several years before we see the effect. And I don't know if Disney can last that long, because we've seen the box office just being tanking lately. People have been abandoning the theme park, so because it's just off-putting to basically everyone who used to be a fan of Disney. I mean, there's still a lot of support out there for the company, because there are people who are just like, I just don't care. But when things are just so overt, it's like, okay, I can't get behind this. And is this going to mean Disney's going to cease to exist as a company? No, I think what we're going to see is more of what they've been doing, is basically trying to sell off stuff and do something to stay afloat with like big announcements or whatnot. But I mean, they're basically, when Bob Iger finally does leave the company, he's just basically the company is going to be left as a shadow of what it used to be, thanks to what he did to the company and the culture at the company he cultivated. But let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. And if you like this video, make sure you click that like button, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with the latest news. Thank you.